So I know you as an incredible stylist who's worked in fashion for quite a while now. And at the moment, you're at the helm at Dr. J's. So for those who don't know, drjs.com is one of the biggest players in e-commerce retail for casual, ready-to-wear men's and women's. So we're talking about activewear, streetwear.
Urban, streetwear, skatewear, and just, contemporary men's and women's, but more of men's. That's our biggest category.
I see. So while you're in that space, I know that your body of work is much wider, all the way to premium fashion. Tell us a bit about how you got to where you are now.
I'm born and raised in the Philippines, so I went to, grade school, high school, college in the Philippines, and I moved to China in 2006 after I graduated college in the Philippines. I stayed in China for about a year and a half, and then decided to move to LA to go to fashion school, FIDM in LA. So because I already had a college degree, I was able to do the 1-year professional program at FIDM. And I knew I wanted to be a stylist already, so that was already, I took the visual communications program in FIDM. And even when I was in school, I started, interning, assisting, like fashion shows, just free work, like just to get my portfolio going. That way my portfolio just looks better than, my classmates who were much younger than me, because a lot of them were straight out of high school. So they were like 18, 19. And at that time I was 27 in 2009. When I graduated, I started working as a visual specialist for Banana Republic. So I started doing visuals for one Banana Republic store, and then was promoted to kind of showing other visual specialists in other Banana Republic stores how to do things. So they would have me do kind of like a seminar to show them how to style mannequins and stuff like that. And even when I was doing that, I was, working on the side, just collaborating with different artists, photographers, models, still trying to build my portfolio. And then I applied to that, landed the job. So I moved from LA to San Diego in 2013, and I'm still there today. I'm the head stylist for drjs.com.
While you're telling me that, I know very well what you do, but tell us a little bit about just Dr. J. So what is like your work day or work week, generally speaking, for being the head stylist?
Okay, so we have a photo team consisting of in-house photographer. We have photo assistants, which what they do is, so our buyers, the buyers for drjs.com, they're the ones that pick and choose what product we want to sell on our e-commerce website. So they buy from brands and fashion warehouses, and we get that shipment, all of that shipment, everything they bought, we get a sample of that in our photography department. We prep it, and then I'm the one that books the model. So I have to match the identity of the brand to what model I'm going to book. At the same time, being an e-commerce company, we get multiple brands in at once. We shoot every day basically, and sometimes we shoot multiple categories in one day. So I could have a men's shoot in the morning or a women's shoot in the morning, and then shoot like big and tall or plus size. It's a combination of just whatever we're getting for the week.
I'm just realizing as you're describing that, probably like every fashion school student's dream job right now.
It's a really fun job because my research is watching fashion shows or looking up trends and, just like being inspired. Like I have to be inspired by things that I see, and that helps my creativity. So we've been more and more successful every year, and I think a large part of that is just me growing with Dr. J's. I'm getting to know our customer. I'm getting to know how things sell, what kind of styling like makes someone buy something, and what our brands like identities are and what they represent.
That's interesting, because I think of how I'll always tell people who come to me for advice that we work in a visual language, so visuals are important. But I'm just realizing you're like really fluent in styling and knowing the end result. You know what I'm saying? Like you can already put it together in your head because you do it like every day.
Yes. Yeah. It takes I get so much practice that it's so much easier for me now than, let's say, 5 years ago to style something and to know how I can make this look really dope, even if by itself it might not look good. So we have models, or our makeup artists will be in studio and we'll see something on the hanger and they're like, but then I put it together and I always get it, a compliment from them, like one piece, like a part of a whole. and then all of a sudden it has a cool factor, you know?
Yeah. To both showcase it and then show it in range of an outfit. Even people like just watching this or like hearing it I don't think they really comprehend how difficult that actually can be. Also, a lot of people that I'll meet in fashion might be like so artistic that it's hard for them to work in what can be a corporate environment. So there's a lot of moving parts that actually makes your job difficult. And so for you to have that success, it actually speaks about your character quite a bit.
Because some people think it's just creative, like it's just fun. But when I started, I would get feedback from some buyers like, I'm not liking how you styled this because I feel like this is not in line with their identity, you know? There was a little bit of this and that before because I just started. I wasn't very like fluent what the Dr. J style is. You know, through the years, I just got it.
Yeah, I can't even imagine because people are so finicky when they're trying to determine what on brand is to them, right?
Yeah.
One of the first times I saw your stuff was with Fresh Yard.
Yeah, the Fresh Yard is a streetwear men's contemporary brand that is born in San Diego but raised in the Bay Area because the owner is from the Bay Area, so he's inspired by music, culture, and art. So it's a really, really cool brand.
So tell me about what are some shoots like in the past? Any shoots that were like really big for you or just memorable for any reason?
I think my biggest early project was styling a music video for Rich Brian.
I'm a huge fan of his, by the way. 88 Rising.
Oh, yes.
And the whole crew, yeah.
So I got put onto that music video, and it was one of, I think to this day, is still one of the most creative, craziest like videos I've ever styled because the outfits, the costumes. We had a horse, you know, he had to wear an equestrian costume at one point. He wore like a vintage basketball like jersey with like the tiny little shorts, you know, that old basketball players used to wear. But except he was playing tennis. But we were like, let's put him in a basketball outfit while he's playing tennis, you know. So it was just a lot of different crazy costumes. And then it kind of started from there. So that was really exciting because the music video really got a lot of really good attention. And then
I'm sure got mad views, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So wanted to ask you this. As of late, you know, I had you on my panel for Undiscovered with Collective Hustle and the whole fam out there. And it made me think introspectively. And I think a lot of people that I might talk to might have my experience, right? Where I am a minority, but I'm Filipino American, right? I grew up in San Diego, live in Los Angeles now. But you grew up in the Philippines and now you're an American citizen. So I'm just curious, like, tell me about that vantage point, you know, of the cultures, you know?
I definitely think it's positive because I have like a wider view of things, you know, and I feel like that gives me an edge. I call it like an international background because, you know, having lived in 3 countries and just like, you know, absorbed cultures like that before starting my fashion journey. I mean, I just feel like it's a positive.
I was on your Instagram not too long ago. I forgot what project it is, but tell me about some of your recent projects.
One of my most exciting recent projects was that I styled a K-Swiss campaign. They did a collab with Clueless, the movie, the 90s movie with Alicia Silverstone. You know, we all grew up to that. So I styled that campaign and it got featured in, you know, Cosmopolitan magazine and I think Nylon magazine. They did an article about it, you know. So that was very, very exciting for me. It was kind of like a full circle moment because I grew up watching that movie and I grew up wearing K-Swiss and now I'm like styling this campaign of like both of them, you know. The artist Love, it's a Lauv. He's, you know, like a pop artist. I styled him for Numero China magazine for the cover, but it was a Zoom or a FaceTime photo shoot. You know how that's like the thing now?
No, I am not knowing about this.
Full on campaigns. Like I think maybe Balenciaga did it where you're just on a Zoom call or a FaceTime call with a photographer and they're just screenshotting their phones and directing you. They're literally like, okay, put your phone over there. Okay, now pose, you know, and they're screenshotting and that's the campaign. Like they put it on magazines and all over. So this
Wait, so like you're telling me they're screenshotting what they see from their Zoom
yes,
wow.
Yes. That is like the new virtual way of doing photo shoots nowadays. He would just instruct us like, okay, put the laptop here a little higher, a little, you know, move to the side, and let's change the lighting. And then he's just screenshot. And it turned out dope. Like, you can't even barely tell that it's not an actual photographer clicking, a camera in front of you.
That's going to make Final Cut for sure. Wow. I might have to make something separate with that. That's so crazy. Right? That's so cool.
Actually, on Instagram, if you look at the hashtags, if you type Zoom photo shoot or Zoom shoot, a ton of it will come up, and it's really good.
Oh man, the world's changing. So you've had many moments. We talked about this briefly on the last panel I had you on, but tell me again about a moment where you feel like you had, like accomplishment in what you set out to do like years ago in terms of your dreams in fashion.
That was the moment where I can really call myself a fashion stylist. It's a salaried position, and I am the head stylist, the only stylist at this like very renowned, company that's been established since 1999. And I actually edged out other applicants.
Oh, you probably edged out 100 applicants.
I don't know. Like, it's just a very, very like pivotal moment.
I know that during pandemic and this time now, it's probably doing extremely well just because everyone's online e-commerce numbers are soaring.
It is. We are up from last year, by a huge margin. So, we're very like grateful, and we're killing it,
By the time I put this out in the final edit, this is going to be like a dream interview for someone who wants to work in fashion. Like anyone who's like Phenom or Phenom alumni is going to be like, oh, that's the job I want. So what advice do you have for young fashionistas or anyone that's looking to maybe do something similar in the direction of where your career is now? Like, what advice would you give to a young version of you?
Number one, like, write your goals down, create a vision board. That's so important. And you have to like intern for people, because that's how you create connections, that's how you network, and that's how you really learn. Like, I went to fashion school, but so much of what I learned came from me interning for free and assisting for free, renowned like stylists. And I feel like just be open to any opportunities. Like, don't close yourself off to what you think may or may not help you.
But definitely writing your goals down. You said a vision board. I noticed that you said earlier, for your own experience, you were out there trying a lot of different things and saying yes to interning and being a PA on different sets. I think that's really important. I also think on the second point you're talking about, yes, there might not be a whole lot of jobs in styling, but within creative careers, and now with everything that's happening in the world and technology, we were just talking about virtual photo shoots. There's going to create a whole bunch of new lanes that you should try to be on the edge to explore. And I think you do that by getting involved. So anyone that's a young person that wants to work in fashion, everything that Lady says is like 200% gold. Also, you did mention students hitting you up, so let's talk about that real quick. I know people can find you on ladymaximo.com, but for anyone that's watching, especially up till now to the end, please drop her a line or leave her a comment at Lady Maximo. Let her know that this interview inspired you. I really feel like I wanted to share her story with my audience, and for the future creative, really doing some work that's international.
Thank you so much.